Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to the brand new series of Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. At the weekend, I caught up with the Secretary for the Federation of Young Farmers, Bryony Kneale, to hear what's coming up this summer.
It was a big occasion at Ballaugh Bowling Club, celebrating 40 years since they started the venture, and also I popped along to Ballaugh Farm in Regaby to speak to Alan Radcliffe. Well, welcome back, Kirree. It's good to see you again. It's been a bit of a break, and, well, we didn't really want to touch the weather, but it's been an improvement, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah. Most of the crops will be in now, Simon, and no doubt Alan will keep us informed of what they've been up to on the north. But the weather through the March and April was just desperate. There was no words to describe it at one point. I think it was very, very difficult times for all the agricultural community.
Yeah, and particularly the market growers as well, and vegetable growers. It was just impossible to get machinery on the fields, and even now they'll be feeling the brunt of it with different patches in the fields where they've been trying to feed them and get in and out of gates, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not been easy right round, and the seasons are shifting. The farming calendar from what it was maybe 5 years ago has totally shifted. The winters are milder. They're seeming to be a lot longer and wetter. The grass growth was really, really good through the back end with no frost or snow as such. But obviously it's having this knock-on implications, and farmers are having to adapt to the new kind of farming calendar, I suppose.
Okay, well, let's hear it from one of the northern farmers, Alan Radcliffe at Ballaugh Farm in Regaby. He told me all about his farm, what goes on it, and firstly, how they've got through this particularly bad patch of weather throughout the start of the year.
Starting to get on top of things a bit more now. It's good to see the sun out, things growing, and a bit of dust, really. So, no, it's we're starting to get caught up a bit. Yeah.
What about, obviously, we've spoke about the tremendous rain that we've had over the last, since the start of the year, really, and has that been affecting things at Regaby here? Yeah,
I would say crops are in a bit later than what I'd have liked. The cattle had to stay in a bit longer than usual before we dare turn them out, or they'd have just chewed the fields up. It's been a pretty wet spell right through from September through till fairly recently, really. And nice to see things drying up a bit.
But I mean, the weather itself, you mentioned about, the churning up, but some people have had to get in, and where they're feeding the cattle, you can see, even now that the ground's dried up, you can see the remnants where there's just bare patches all over the fields. Is it difficult to get them to recover?
It can be, yeah. If you get ground that's been punched too hard by cattle or even sheep, then it can take a bit of work to get the grass back in decent nick, really. So, yeah. And
you've got quite a mixed farm here, Alan, haven't you?
Yes, very mixed. There's beef cattle, a few suckler cows, sheep, grow a few spuds, a little bit of veg, grow oats and barley. So yeah, having a go at a few things, really. So.
Has that always been the case at Ballaugh, or since you've been involved a bit more, it's you've sort of experimented and see what's good for this area?
No, it's run on a pretty traditional kind of basis. There's sometimes you think you'd be better concentrating on one thing, and there's probably a lot of merit in that. But at other times, you're glad that you're doing a few different things, and if one enterprise is suffering a bit, then hopefully something else is doing well. So there's it gives you a bit more sort of breadth, and hopefully if you do get a bad spell of weather that affects things, gives you a bit more resilience to it, maybe. So. Yeah.
And that's one of the things. Does it, from beef sales, lamb sales, crop prices, potato prices, I mean, do they vary a lot over the years? And that's what could make it, if some people have suffered growing them, your land has been able to do it?
Yeah, there's well, certainly lamb and beef prices have come up nicely this last little while, which has been very good to see. Really needed to happen. This spud prices are still.
Marginal.
I think they need to come up a long way, really. But and the same with the veg. I think, yeah, this. But as I say, it's good that we're doing a few different things. So hopefully, at any one time, something's doing all right, really.
Does that keep? I know the farming's in your blood, Al, but does it keep the interest and sort of excitement of the job in there when you're not doing routinely the day in day out the same thing?
Yeah, there's, I think lots of the bits that we're doing down here. There's sometimes, certainly when we're growing the spuds, I am wondering whether I'm doing it for profit or for enjoyment. Really, there's, but yeah, I quite enjoy doing a bit of everything. Really, there's it suits me anyway. But yeah.
And apart from all of this, you get the odd hour or two to take part in the island ploughing competitions as well. I suppose that's, although you need a lot of concentration for it, is it a nice release from it all?
Yeah, there's sometimes sort of when you get into lambing time, or start getting towards the start of lambing, you kind of struggle to get to some of them, but yeah, I quite enjoy it really. It's just gets you off the yard, and yeah, it's I think quite good to have something else to do other than farming. You know, it's only half a dozen days a year, but it's for a few hours, but it's quite nice to be doing something a little bit different. So yeah.
Not seen any of the modern £200,000 big tractors on this yard today when I've been here?
No. There's none of them down here. There's no. We're only a fairly small traditional enterprise, and yeah, we can't justify them. And if I'm honest, I don't think we really need them either. There's if we've got the likes of silage that we want to do, it's a lot more justifiable for us just to pick up the phone and get a contractor in. It's an extra pair of hands too to give you an extra help, and you know, this makes a lot more sense to us financially just to get contractors in for some of the big jobs. So yeah.
But it's the farming community. You've grown up in it. Your family have been in Ballaugh for many years, Alan.
Yep.
Same with some of the farmers around this district, I suppose. And is there still that good relationship with all of the farms around about, and maybe in other parts of the island that you get to see?
Yes, there's still a strong sense of community in farming. There's, I suppose, probably maybe not quite what it was. There's numbers of farmers are dropping, which is sad to see, but it's just the way it's going, I suppose. But no, we still, yeah, we've got good friends who help us in the silage, and we help them, and you know, there's quite a bit of that goes on, really. So
yeah, and that reminds me of my youth growing up on the farm, coming over from school and helping the Huyton boys from Barragh who used to come around with the spud harvester. We'd all help them get theirs up. They would go around and do ours, and then the next farm. So it was a lovely way, really, of life. The sandwiches and the flask of tea out and the sitting on a bale or a sack of spuds.
yeah, no, it's well, it works for us anyway. This helps if you got folk who can help you out and you can help them. This you know, saves on machinery, and yeah, it's I think it's a good way of doing things, really. Yeah.
Well, see if you haven't got enough on your plate with all the variations you got in your farm. Yeah. Been looking at any others for the future? Or always looking?
Yeah, this I suppose the job is always changing, and yeah, I think you've just got to see what comes and make the best of it, I suppose, haven't you? Yeah.
Alan Radcliffe from Ballaugh Farm in Regaby, and always great for a word, isn't it? And showing me round the farm there with the diversity he's got in the fact, the variation, crops, spuds, he's got sheep, he's got, sucklers. He's got everything there.
That's it. It's that old saying, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. It's very much that type of farm.
I didn't see any hens there, Kirree.
Oh. But no, Alan, ever the optimist. It's great to hear from him, and that lovely Manx accent as well. But good farming. Hopefully the weather now will help and push on. And talking of good weather, the stock is out in the fields now, isn't it? You see them there getting the sunshine on their backs.
Yeah, and good bit of grass going. I see some silage cut ready there on yesterday when I was driving past one of the fields. So not in Ballaugh, but another one which I can't remember.
This is it, and the dairy farmers are hoping to get on, like you say, to lift the silage. They are worried a little bit the sugars might be a bit lower with the lack of sunshine for the photosynthesis to get that quality in that first cut, but once it's off they can get back on with the manure and the fertilisers, and away they go for a second one.
Okay, well, helping each other, the farmers as always, and Bryony Kneale from the Federation of Young Farmers is after some help.
She is indeed. Always great to get a word with Bryony, and they're looking for volunteers for the big event coming up. Well, here we are, Bryony. The concert feels like a million years ago now, but a huge success yet again, the Young Farmers.
It really does. It's all a blur, but a very good one. It was so great. Obviously, big props and thanks to Conister and the Creamery for supporting us and putting on such a good event, and everyone who came to watch it. We couldn't do it without them, who queue so long to get tickets, and obviously our own members. We had so many this year. Each club had a really healthy number of members, so I think they all enjoyed it. And yeah, it is a lifetime ago, but it was just so much fun, so hopefully everyone felt the same.
It really was a great night. We enjoyed watching it. And it's always a great charity event as well. Bridge the Gap this year's chosen charity.
Yes, our vice chair always picks the chosen charity for the bucket collections on the way in and the way out. So that was Michael Deal this year, and he picked Bridge the Gap, which is obviously a very good charity. So Fiona from Bridge the Gap has invited us up to see their new hub. So we're going to go up to Nobles and have a look at that, which will be really nice, and present them with the cheque.
And the Young Farmers, they never rest. You've got a busy summer schedule ahead of you. To start with, what's next?
Well, we've just had our team and individual public speaking, which was great. So it's good for our members to practice for ahead of next year's concert. And then next we have got, we're fortunate enough to win a bid to host the Northern Area Stockman competition. So that's a competition to find the best stockman and young stockman within the Northern Area counties. So we will welcome Lancashire, Cumbria, Yorkshire, Northumberland, Durham and East Riding over to compete against our own members. So fortunately we are hosting it at Central Marts at Knockalo. So thank you very much to them and the Royal Manx Agricultural Society for allowing us to have it there. It's on Saturday the 29th of June. And it's going to be a big day, a very long day. But it'll be great, just seeing everyone. And it's a really, highly anticipated competition. The standard is really, really high, and the competitors that do it as well.
And what will they have to do on the day? Do you know yet?
Yes. So they'll have a ring of beef, dairy, breeding ewes and butcher's lambs to judge. So they have 10 minutes to judge each section, if you like, and then they'll have to give reasons. They can't bow out of reasons like they can over here. They have to give reasons, and then they'll also have to complete an animal health and husbandry questionnaire as well, which hopefully we've got the help of one of our local vets to write for us, so that'll be great. I've seen some of the questionnaires they've done in the past, and it looks like absolute gibberish to me, so it's going to be a tough one, but it'll be great to see the competitors come over and take part in that.
And like you say, to win that bid to host it, that's a privilege in its own right, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we have hosted it previously. Obviously, I wasn't on the Federation committee or anything like that back then, so it's really exciting, actually. We have hoped to host something on behalf of the Northern Area counties in the last few years, but it's just not come up. It hasn't worked out due to timing and obviously logistics and getting everyone over, but this one's worked out well, so hopefully we'll see a good 100 or so members come over, because they're bringing supporters and stuff too, and they obviously like a social, which we're pretty good at putting on, so it'll be good. to host that, definitely.
And talking of socials, I do hear there's a big event coming off later in the year as well for more guests to come to the island.
Yes, absolutely. In 2021, we hosted Winterwelly Wonderland at the Villa Marina, kindly by the Villa Gaiety. And yeah, it was great. We had Chris Stark over, a number of DJs and bands from the local community. So we're going to do that again. It will be a different theme and a different headliner this year, of course. Yet to be confirmed, but there's a few things going on in the background organising that. So that will be advertised soon enough, and we'll get tickets out for that. It will be one not to be missed.
Absolutely, and the young farmers, they do know how to throw a party. But we've got the agricultural shows too, Bryony. The stock judging is underway already as well.
Yeah, stock judging, and obviously it's a good chance for our members to have a practice before the stockman, so they can brush up on their skills and really go into it and compete against the other members coming from across. The shows obviously are great. We have a bit of a presence at the Southern, and then the Royal Manx, we have our stand, so be sure to come and see us. We'll have a few good fun things going on, and then we do stock judging at the show too. So if we have any visiting members from across come over, which we usually do, they will take part in the inter-county stock judging as well, which is always good fun, and then retire at the beer tent.
But to get this going, Bryony, you're going to need an awful lot of help and support. You know, it's no mean feat.
No, absolutely. Luckily, we have like a brilliant committee. Obviously, our chair lady, Emily, and Michael, our vice, they're great, and all of our assistants and everyone else in the committees on the clubs who make up the federation, they're great. We've got a good team. So between them and then obviously, yes, we will need additional help, especially for the stockmen this year. You know, the amount of stewards that we're going to need. So we're putting a plea out for them. Obviously, we've contacted people regarding stock, if we could borrow them, and then sponsors too. We're looking for section sponsors and just general sponsors, or even just selling banner space if companies want to put their banners up. So yeah, absolutely get in touch if you fancy it. It'd be great to hear from people.
There we go. That was Bryony Kneale, the secretary from the Federation of Young Farmers.
Yeah, it's great to see that there is still stock around, that people have it, that they can still do these competitions, and it's great the over the years, the amount of farmers, different farmers and different generations, some still doing it through generation, allowing the young farmers to come and judge their stock, isn't it?
It is phenomenal, and it's a great way to make friends. And if you are into the livestock side of farming, you know, you can go and visit these farms in the UK or in Ireland and just enjoy what they do, soak it all up and bring the ideas back home to your own farms. But to win that bid to host Stockman of the Year here on the Isle of Man is something very, very special. And hopefully there'll be a good show of stock that day for all to go and view, general public as well. Most welcome.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, 40 years ago, some farmers and some friends from the local pubs and just members of the Ballaugh community got together and thought, let's do something. Let's set up a bowling club. And that's what they did. I popped along to the bowling club on Saturday afternoon in glorious sunshine to speak to some of the people who were there near the start of it and some of the people who are running the club now. Well, it's been an exciting day in Ballaugh, and Michelle Cubban, a big day for Ballaugh Bowling Club.
Oh, an absolutely amazing day for Ballaugh Bowling Club. 40 years of bowling in this wonderful, absolutely amazing scenery around here. The sun's come out for us today when we were praying all week that it was going to be really nice, and we had a great turnout from both bowlers and community alike. It was absolutely amazing. Loved it.
It's come a long way, Ballaugh Bowling Club, hasn't it, in its 40 years, since just a few people who were friends got together, and now when you look at this green, it's in beautiful condition. And the clubhouse, which has been the sort of, you know, the reason for the gathering today.
Yes. Well, apart from the 40th birthday celebrations that we've had today, we also received a £50,000 grant from the Manx Lottery Trust, which we have, as Sarah Kelly from the Trust said today, it cost her £50,000 to spend a penny in Ballaugh. So, Yes. So it's the most expensive flush that she's had. But no, it's been absolutely marvellous. I mean, a lot of people in the club have put a lot of work into making this a success, particularly Fred Waggett, who is the maintenance person around here. He's put such a lot of time in. The rest of the members of the club, and I must also say a huge thank you to all the members who have put their time in. We have a lot of skill sets within the club, and they've all pulled together, from the architect right down to the rest of us who are menial around here. But a special shout to John Looney, who sadly was a real stalwart of the club, and he passed away suddenly this year. So that was a huge shock to the club, but this is in memory of him, and maybe we'll name one of the toilets after him.
Mo Trustham, you've been part of the bowling club for how long?
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. And it was hard to imagine when we spoke about the originality of the club. This was all more or less a hayfield. Can you imagine the work that went into that? It's absolutely amazing, and everybody pulled together to do it. And it absolutely wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're although I say it myself, we're a wonderful club.
We seem to attract wonderful people, Mo. That's what it is.
It's the best club on the island, I think, and a lot of people do think.
Yes.
I suppose one shouldn't say that, but it is. It's wonderful, and we all look after each other. It's really friendly, and we really care about each other until we get on the green, of course.
All enemies there.
Oh, it's
definitely.
annihilation time
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
We're very competitive, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Well, Lenny Fenton, you've been involved for a long time as well, and it was great to see some of the original people who set up the club here today.
Absolutely, it's lovely to see them. John Quayle was the first secretary, I believe, and called the first public meeting, and of course Edgar Cowan was here, and John Keenan, Alan Kelly, Peter Graham. Yep, lots of I won't say old faces, that sounds very rude, but lots of the original boys were here. Yeah.
And is that one of the reasons why it's, as Mo and I've said here, that makes it such an attractive club to be a member of?
I think so, yes, and everyone pulls together. It's just like a big family, really. It's as twee as it sounds. It's everyone looks out for each other, and there's lots of fun, lots of friendship, and lots of socials. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Fred Waggett, you've been classed as the maintenance man behind all of this.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had loads of help we had some good tradesmen come in and help us out, and people from the club with knowledge for building, etc. They've all done really well, and we've all pulled together, and the ladies would come and make us a cup of tea or coffee occasionally. So it's been very good, a joint effort by the whole club.
Well, Lenny, originally a Tier, of course, yourself, and it's been a great family tradition for the Tier family in the past and now.
Absolutely, yeah. There's been we had a display of photographs up on the wall, and Dad's face was smiling in a few of them. And Mum was here today. Of course, she's been up making butties since about 9:30 this morning. You can't keep her out of the kitchen, but yeah, very much a family tradition. Yeah.
But as well as the toilet and the extension on the back here, which a lot of work, as Fred said, has gone into it. The clubhouse now, new windows by the look of it too.
New windows, yes. We received a grant from the co-op, from their community fund, which is we've managed to change all the windows in the club. We're trying to upgrade and to ensure that it's maintenance free, and that it's coming into the 21st or 22nd century, whichever you'd prefer. But this is an absolutely amazing club. It's social, it's wonderful, and the people involved in it truly love this club and the sport of bowls, because it's just an absolutely amazing game.
What about the membership? How many members are in Ballaugh Bowling Club now? Because obviously there's probably an equal share of girls and boys, is it?
Oh yes, yes. We are so pleased this year because the ladies teams within the club, we've managed to have another team. So we've got an A and B team in the Ladies Night League. We've also got 2 teams within the over 60s ladies. And it's so important that social and competitiveness, which seems to be a naughty word in some cases these days, competition is, we don't have competition, but we do compete here and we're very competitive. But the whole aspect of bowling is amazing, and it's a great sport to get into. Anyone that's thinking of joining a club, then please come to bowling, because we need more members, definitely.
Talk about the future. Good success in the youth games, the Manx Youth Games, with the bowling too, is it?
Yes. We've managed to draw the kids in as well. So we've had Manx Youth Games sessions at the Green. Also, we were at the NSC at the start of the year before the Green opened. And success for the North today. So how good's that? We are so pleased for everyone involved, and congratulations to all the children and to everyone that coaches and everyone that's involved in trying to, bring people into the sport, because as I say, it's a wonderful sport.
Well, there's a lot of people been here today. It looks wonderful, the Green, the clubhouse and the extension look brilliant, and the sun is shining as always in Ballaugh.
What more can you want? Let's get the Prosecco out.
There we are, Michelle Cubban, also Mo Trustham, also Fred Waggett and Lenny Fenton, all having a chat with me on a glorious day in the bowling green, looking absolutely lovely. They even sent me a form to take with me to join up, Kirree.
You probably haven't got spare time to do that just yet, Simon.
Yeah, but it was great to be there, and the camaraderie amongst everyone, and great hearing how it started, 40 years ago, and the celebrating the opening of the extension that they put on it as well, with everyone helping out with their different trades, which we're glad to help, which was great.
This is it, and we've had some great events in there, and it has been tight for rooms sometimes when they're packed out with all of the produce for the sales, but it's the heart of that community, isn't it? It's the venue that everybody wants to go to and catch up and have a cup of tea.
Indeed it is. That's all we've got time for on this week's programme. Don't forget you can download the podcast from Manx Radio's website for free and sign up as well. And you can listen to all the countryside programmes at your leisure. A lot of them containing longer interviews that we don't have time to squeeze into on the Tuesday night programme. So please feel free to browse to them, and you'll be able to go into the archives and find some of the earlier countryside versions of the programmes as well. But until this time next week, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.